everyone, welcome back. So I started painting a new spread in the book that I've been working in that I made from one of my custom art journal classes that you can find on Skillshare. And I picked out a card, 458 from the color cube, and started painting and thought I was recording and realized I wasn't, but I thought I would show you at least what this color card looks like with the colors that I picked. And I was using the Kuretake 16 Ecru Beige for that color there, and 17 Coral Pink, and 401 Flax Beige, and then we've got 49 Yellow Brown, and then number 20 Black. Those are out of the Art Nouveau set, and that was out of the big set. And so while I'll probably go back and finish playing on this myself, I did want to at least show you how cool that color palette looked. Because if you're looking at it, I'm kind of thinking, but once it's on here, that pink really pops, and that was a cool color palette. So now I have pulled another color palette into some other colors that I wouldn't have put together. These are kind of a bluey green with the pinks and stuff. And so let me pull some paint out for this color palette, 303, again out of Color Cube Volume 2, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I've done it. I've got the 48 set of the Kuretake watercolors and the 48 Art Nouveau set and the 24 piece Art Nouveau set, and I've pulled colors out of both of those. And I think I'm going to go for 502 Billiard Green, which I think is out of the 48 piece set, which that's probably this color here. And then I've got 506 Shadow Green, which is out of that Kuretake Art Nouveau set, so I think that's a good one. And then I've got the 34 Rose Madder, which came out of the big set. And then I've got 14 Cherry Blossom, which came out of the big set. And then I pulled Coral Pink, which came out of the Art Nouveau set. So I think that is a pretty close set there of colors. And so I'm just going to wet those down a little bit and let them activate. I'm going to be working with my number 0 Raphael Soft Aqua mop brush because I like it. And I'm so super inspired by this other piece that we did. It's one of my absolute favorites, and the focus on the white space and the elongated ovals really pulled this one together for me. And so I kind of want to do that same type pattern in some other layouts, which is where I was going with that first one that I showed you that I forgot to hit record on. That's kind of where I was going with that. And I want like maybe a whole series of those in different colorways just to see like what could this do for us. And so that's where I'm going with this one. It's going to be the big ovals, and maybe I'll start with a pink, and we're just going for that kind of abstract, organic, kind of just blobs and rectangular oval things, really. And some of those I remember were splotches, and then I filled back in with the ovals. So I think that's where I'm going to go with this. We're going to have some colors put down, and then we'll come back in with the oval shapes. And I'm looking for white space today, so I'm going to try my best not to overfill the entire thing with paint, because the white space gave me some space to mark make and add interest in a way that, you know, maybe I don't normally do, because normally I'm going wall to wall all paint. So those two colors look almost identical, but you know what, on our card they look almost identical too. So I'm not gonna stress about that. Okay, I kind of feel like I've missed something here. Maybe, well, I don't want the bright pink right in there. Maybe a little pink over here. All right, maybe that could be the mark making that I'm wanting. I don't want to go overboard in color. I want to leave room for the mark making and the other elements. So you know what, before I get too far and I just pile on as much stuff as I can, I'm going to stop right there and let that dry and let all the stuff we put on top be our finishing elements for this. So I'm going to let this dry and I'll be right back. All right, I think we're mostly dry. I see a little spot right there, so I'll be careful right there. I think I'm going to start with a little bit of micron pen marking because I liked how in the other piece I had some white space filled in with the black marks, just some little dashes or dots or something that kind of fills that in, and that little corner down there is wet. I'm going to get out my little yardstick that I use. It's just a yardstick from the paint store, a paint stir stick, and at least give my hand something to sit on so I'm not scrubbing paint back off as I move my hand. I have one of those clear things that sits on your desk, but I never use it. I always pull the paint stick because I have it sitting right here beside me. I like that, and I think it needs some colors. So I've got my Arctic's acrylic markers over here and my Posca markers, and I might just pull some of these out and play because, you know, they're kind of new to me. So I'm thinking that, well, you know what, I want some dots, so this could be a dot one, but I also want some bold something. So I've got my Neo Color 2 crayon box out over here. And I kind of want to do like a bold salmon. Like maybe that's kind of nice. That's fun. I want it a little bolder though, but not like orange. Like I didn't want it like, or did I? Kind of feeling like I want this. And I might want some big black splotches. So maybe with the black, let's just do the black and get that off our mind because it's on my mind. It's my Posca black. Okay, let's go there for now. I do actually have this color too. It's kind of that salmon-y color. Maybe we want that. Now, if I'm doing something like this, I am holding this up a little bit with this other hand, so hopefully I'm keeping it off of the majority of my artwork. In case you're wondering, I try not to, most of the time, set it right down on what I'm working on. I leave a little air gap in there. It's probably not a big air gap, but hopefully it's enough that I'm not spreading art materials into spaces I didn't intend, or smearing something, or wiping something off. Okay, that's fun. So this is a very subtle color in here, but it's enough to add like some interest when you get close and you're like, oh, that's not one solid color. That's kind of where I was going with that. Just pulling that down a little bit, like it kept going, for instance, or looped around. Now I'm kind of thinking that it needs some bold movement, like a black something. So I did actually really like the way the graphite showed up, but it took forever to dry. So I need to decide, like, how much did I love it? Because once you use it, you have to set that to the side for a while. I did love it though. Need to shake it up. And I loved the little bit of gold that we had in there. I'm kind of thinking like, okay, let's get it started. Okay, I still got to get this started. I've got an ice pick thing to stick down in there, but I looked up and I saw my Black Magic, which is a black India ink with a dauber, which is kind of like, you know, as good as like using acrylic ink. And I think that's what I want because it's black. It kind of pulls in with this black. And I can just kind of do some lovely mark making and making it vivid and strong. Oh yeah, I like that. And I've done gold in the last one, but I don't think I need gold in this, but we could do some gold. Do we want the gold? Gold is always nice. And I might just get a little paintbrush and do some with a little paint. Oh, you know what? I have the liner too. This is the fine line. Let's do this one. Let's do this. Because you know what we can do with the fine liners? We can make lines and we can make dots. And I could make dots with, of course, my pens, but just wanted to show you sometimes other options on how you can do stuff if you don't have, say, like my dip pen that I love. This is an excellent alternative to a dip pen because you can make lovely dots. Puts a little more ink there where they really are vivid and show up for you. And I hold this almost parallel there with the paper so that not too much ink is coming out at the same time because these will whoosh out pretty fast. I do love these fine liners. And you can draw lines and dots and all kinds of fun stuff with these. I'm just putting some dots in a couple of places here. Actually, I think I don't need any lines. And then I like it because these things have a little needle tip here that goes back down in there and keeps it from stopping up like my liquid graphite did. But look at that. I think we're there. And it's not completely dry. I'll have to be really, really careful with that India ink. Let me let it dry and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I've got it dry, and I think this is one of the Arches papers that I was working on because it's one of those that lets me peel the tape without all my little tape tricks, which I love. Let me tell you, a paper that the tape don't tear has my heart because nothing like doing a whole piece of art. And most nice papers tear, even though they shouldn't. And cheap paper tears, but nothing like doing a nice piece of art and then it tear. I mean, talk about your heart sinking. Oh my goodness. Look how good that turned out. Holy cow. Check it out with that color palette. These I'm really enjoying doing, and this book's going to be my mindful pieces that I do. That's another great paint day. These are truly joyous and easy to do because it's just a little bit of splotch making with the watercolors and then marks on top of that until you get to a point where you're like, okay, I think we got enough. And you can be minimalist or you can be maximalist, and there's just like so many things that you could do with that depending on what your style is. I love that. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed painting with me today, and I'll see you next time.